Hey guys, I'm Ryan Raymond, and tonight I want to talk about some lessons I've learned in my journey from just starting on Merch by Amazon last year in 2018 up to now, about 15 months later. I'm on tier 4,000 tier, and I just kind of want to go over some things with you guys that I think all of you that are just starting really need to know, and even those of you guys that have been on this for a little while and are struggling, I think this is going to help you guys a little bit as well. Alright, so once again, I'm Ryan Raymond. It's my channel. Thank you for being here, and let's jump into this here. I transitioned to the wrong screen. It happens. There we go. Hey, Pablo, how's it going? Good to see you here. Thanks for being around. So anyway, if this is your first time and you're just getting started, this is what the Merch by Amazon dashboard. I have a few extensions up here that are going to add some other things, but that's not the most important thing right now. The first thing you guys need to do when you start Merch by Amazon is you need to click on this resources tab in the very top right. First thing, read the best practices. This is going to tell you the basics of how to design every shirt, how different types of printing effects, all the products, do's and don'ts, product tips, artworks. Royalties, this is going to explain the royalty structure for you. So I know a lot of you guys get questions on how the royalty structure works, and you know, when you're just getting started, you're going to want to understand that. Then the content policies. This is basically the laws that you must follow. Copyrights and trademarks. Now they have links right here. Copyright and trademark. They give you, if you're starting in the US, we'll just kind of look at the US website. They give you this link, and this doesn't really help you all that much. What you're really wanting to look for is trademarks, and then over here, check application status, TSDR, and it of course doesn't have the TESS search. You want the trademark electronic search system. So one of the easiest ways to get to it, honestly, is to type in TESS into Google and come right here. It'll be, oh, I got the wrong one there again. Trademark electronic search system. That's the link you want. It's going to have a website like this. You're going to do a basic word mark search for any types of words that you're planning to use in your listings. So like right here, let's do something that's most likely going to come up. So we'll say Coca-Cola. So for some reason, if you thought you were going to be able to do Coca-Cola in a shirt, we'll just do a quick query for that. And you'll see all of these trademarks with registered trademarks, and you know, Coca-Cola right there, registered trademark. You're going to want to look on here, and it's going to tell you the types of products that this is trademarked for. And that's just something you're going to have to be aware of. And so that was in a specific drawing. Spend some time. If you're confused on trademarks, I recommend you talk to a lawyer. I am not a lawyer. I am not qualified to give legal advice on how you can relate to the trademarks. I just am going to recommend, if you're finding things on there, be smart about it. Don't mess with it. I mean, make sure it is, you know, if it's registered in the clothing trademarks and copyright, just stay away from it. Now, the other thing is, trademarks aren't going to be your only problem. You're going to want to use Google, just a basic simple search. So one of the ones you saw in my previous search bar was Hocus Pocus. It's one that gets people this time of year, every year. Hey, Tamika, you made it to the live stream. I'm glad you got the notification set up, so that's great. I'm glad you made it to your first live stream. Thank you for being here. So anyway, you're on, if you did a search for Hocus Pocus, if it comes up and it's a movie, or it's a song or play, or it's a person, or it's a quote that someone said and they're not an elected official, you're going to want to stay away from it in general. The best thing you can really do is make designs that are original. Make up your own phrases and be the first person in on anything. If people start searching for your phrase, it can become a trending t-shirt, and you'll already be the first one there, and you can make different versions of it and kind of copy yourself a little bit and help keep out the copycats. So that's going to be an issue you're going to have to deal with, as well as copycats. So be very careful with that. Those of you guys in here, let me know what your kind of biggest challenges are you're having with merch, what your struggles are. Tell me down in the comments, if you're watching on replay, or drop it in the chat. Like, what is the thing you're really confused about? Let me pop open my notes over here. I had a couple of things I just wanted to make sure. Okay, so when you're getting started on merch, you're going to want to stay away from copyrights, all this stuff, trademarks. Read the policies. Also, not just everything in this resources section. On your dashboard is this messages section. You are going to want to read every single message that has ever been posted here. It's going to kind of, if you go all the way back to 2015 here when it started, you're going to kind of start getting the ideas of how the platform has evolved over time and how the policies have changed, and it can kind of give you an idea of how merch is directing things. You're going to get a kind of feel for that. So make sure you're reading all of these messages and often, as well as the content policies and terms of service, because they can change at any time without notice. They don't have to tell you. You sign that in your agreement when you started. The next thing is, there's 3 different things that people seem to have a little bit of trouble understanding. And that is, what is the difference between an evergreen niche, a seasonal, and a trending niche? And really, there's 2 types of trends. There's seasonal trends and topical trends. Now, a seasonal trend is something that is cyclical. It comes around every year. So to kind of give you an example of this and do some comparisons, let's go to Google Trends, and I'll show you guys kind of how these look different between the 2. Finding niches is what you struggle with, okay? I have a whole playlist about finding unsaturated niches, and I'll talk about that here in a few minutes as well. So, derailed my train of thought there for a second. Okay, so let's think about this Halloween shirt. It is tied to an event that occurs on a cyclical basis. It occurs every year, just like 4th of July shirt. Searches for these spike at different times of the year. So you can see 4th of July shirt in relation to Halloween shirt. Halloween shirt is a bigger search historically over the last couple of years when you look at it in terms of that. But I wonder if you did 4th of July shirt, that could even be a slightly different spike. See, that's actually a higher search term than 4th of July shirt. So, you know, that's a difference in keywords for you to understand there. But you can see how these are basically flat all year long, and then they spike at certain times of the year right before the event. And if you look at these over 5 years, you'll see that this spike occurs every year. It happens once, and it's predictable when it's going to happen. That is what is a seasonal trend. So seasonal trends are trends that occur every year, and you can start getting kind of predictability if you have some shirts that are selling for those. Next year, they have a chance to start selling again. So you can get some predictability of when those types of things are going to happen. Now, the next type of trend is a topical trend. So if we were to add in kind of a different characteristic here, how about this? So we know everyone knows the Betsy Ross flag shirt was a topical trend this year. So you can see it did not exist as anything that was selling, and then all of a sudden it had a spike right here at the beginning of the year when everyone was looking for Betsy Ross flag shirts. We'll see the same thing if you look before I was actually even on merch. If you look at for Eclipse shirt, what you'll see this spike over the last couple of years in 2017. Look at that. It outdid 4th of July shirts, and there were some people that made a major killing when that trend occurred in 2017. So keeping an eye out for news events and things that are becoming like a cultural phenomenon, things that are really kind of going crazy, like how about, and then we could add even an Area 51 shirt. So let's see how that looks in there too. And how about we kill off Halloween? We'll get rid of the holidays here, and we'll just look at these topical trend ones here quick. So looking at these topical trends, you'll see the different spikes as they occurred. And these are great opportunities if you can identify them early and get in and start making shirts the moment you hear about them happening. And they'll go over different times. Now there's other type of, topical trends can be political shirts. So you could do election shirt, and that would be a little bit more cyclical. You can see down here it spiked in 2016, and we had a little bit of a spike in 2018 at the midterm elections, and I think this one's going to be a good opportunity to go really big. So Tamika is asking in the chat, when is it too late to post seasonal items? Is some holidays just too small to even think about doing a shirt? Example, Columbus Day. I think every holiday deserves as many great shirts that can be put up as possible. If everyone's focusing, I talked about this in my holiday research video the other night, and if everyone's making I'm the dorky elf, I'm the sleepy elf shirts for Christmas, and that's the best seller. Who's making the shirts for people who don't celebrate Christmas? Maybe they're celebrating Kwanzaa or, different holidays that different people celebrate. There's all sorts of other holidays, and every single one deserves to have as many great shirts as possible created for it. And it's just waiting for you to make the right ones to go crazy for that holiday. Just because it's not selling in that niche doesn't necessarily mean that it's not ready to pop. It just maybe hasn't had the right supply met for the demand that could be pent up. Every niche deserves shirts, even if it's a low volume niche. So that's why I like doing unsaturated niches. I like looking for searches that come up with no search results. Those have been my best ability to get some sales throughout my 15 months of this, by being first and creating a new niche or going where someone didn't go. I used an example in a previous video of salt and pepper shakers, salt and pepper shaker collectors. I went in, found a Facebook group that had 5,000 people in there, saw that there was really no shirts talking about their passion, their hobby, and I asked them some phrases they would like, made some shirts, shared some links, and every now and then I still get a few salt and pepper shaker collector sales. Themed shirts on merch, just because I found the niche, engaged with them, talked to them, and got to know them. So holidays, seasonals, and then that would be an example of an evergreen niche. It has an opportunity to sell all year long. Okay. I hope that kind of answers your question there, Tamika. But as far as when is it too late, honestly, your designs can be indexed within about a week. Usually it takes about 3 weeks. I'd like to try and be in before that, but I have literally put up Halloween shirts in the last week and have made sales with them. And I've did even some Christmas shirts right before Christmas was done last year. So there's plenty of opportunity out there. If you have a good idea, put it up. If it doesn't sell, take it down after the holiday. All right. So then the next thing I really want you guys to understand is this whole thing is a marathon. It's not a sprint. You're not going to get, you might wake up, upload your first shirt, it goes crazy, and get 100 sales your first day. But that's not a realistic expectation. Let me pop open, I can use Productor or Pretty Merch here. I'm just going to pop open Pretty Merch quick for my analytics here. And so look at this here, 3,660 total shirts sold. And that's in the US market. And let's look at some of these statistics. Let's go dive into this a little bit deeper. Some of these things that I think it's really important for you guys to understand. So it's just running a quick analysis. This is a paid tool. Productor statistics up here is a free version of my statistics sales as well. But I wasn't sure if the database is still updating here for today, so we might have to give that a few minutes. Pretty much just kind of runs a little bit faster. So did I do any advertising for Halloween shirts? Yes, I did run ads for my Halloween shirts, especially the ones that had 5 stars from last year. I made sure those were going to get going right away. All right, so let's look down here. If I search by my most profitable product, right here, this one right here has earned me $309. I have it blurred out for the title for kind of some obvious reasons. But this product right here has earned $309.20, and I've only sold 58 copies of it over its entire lifetime. I haven't ever really had any of these viral breakout shirts that start selling hundreds a day. I set up a plan when I started this, and I've said this before. I set up a goal. I said, if I can figure out how to sell 100 different products, I can figure out how to sell 100 different products every month. If I can figure out how to sell 100 different products every month, I can figure out how to sell 100 different products every week. If I can do that in a week, I can figure it out in a day. And if I can figure it out in a day, an hour. If I can figure it out in an hour, damn right I can do it in a minute. So look at it this way. You can chase the big sellers and the big winners, or you can try and satisfy the unmet demands in smaller niche markets and pick up a whole bunch of things that sell once or twice a month and build a broad selling portfolio of designs. That way, you're a little bit more defended against having your sales be very up and down. You can maybe have a little bit of a lower number, but it might be a little bit more predictable and steady. That's the approach I've approached. I know some people that go just after the big sellers and try and knock them off their podium and squeeze in there. But it just really hasn't been my biggest strategy. Now, when I look at it on products that have sold the most, I've also had, for this example right here, this is what I call a loss leader on my shirts here. So sorry if you couldn't see that one there. Let me swap that back for you 1 second. If I look at my royalties, this one here is my biggest, 58 products. This one here, if I sort, this is my pop socket. I've talked about it before. I've sold 714 of those, and I've only made $89.29. I've averaged 13 cents on it. It's right now priced at just paying me 2 cents each time it sells. And I do that because I want things that are going to be selling regularly. People can click my brand name, and they can find other my products. Brandon, the Bottlefish shirts at the post office should be here in the morning. I can't wait to see you post a picture of it. You're gonna have to share it because I want to see how it turned out. Since we listed that one live the other day. Thank you for buying that. That's awesome. You didn't have to do that. I appreciate it. So anyway, back to this. This one here is kind of a loss leading product. Every time I raise the price where I've had this above 13 cents, I pump it up to try and make $1 on it. Right now I can be pulling in 5-6 sales a day with it. And when I bump the price up, it goes back to 1 or 2 every other day. So for me, I would rather have something that's just bringing in some consistent sales, going to help me tier up and get more room to list more products and test things. Testing things is really important because let's look at a number up here. Let me find the number that I want to show you. So of all my live products, I'm at tier 4,000. I have just deleted some shirts again today. I have just under 4,000 products live. I have probably listed in total products, not designs. Keep in mind, this is product listings. I have listed somewhere around 5,500 to 6,000 total product listings. I've had, probably around 1,500 to 2,000 products removed due to new sales, or I have deleted them myself. So this is actually even a smaller number for you guys to keep in mind. Of those products that I have listed, 518 have made a sale. So let's just call it about 10% of all my listings have ever made a sale. That is an important number to realize for beginners. If you are just getting started and you've only listed 10 designs or 10 products, you've only cast out 10 hooks into that ocean to try and catch a product and to try and catch some sales. It's not enough. You're going to have to keep recycling those designs. If the Productor opened up here, let me check. I want to see this page right here. I want to show you guys a number that Productor tells. And this is the average days until first sale statistic. 37.45. On average, my listings take almost 40 days to catch their first sale. So if you're not trying to promote them and go out, I really recommend, if you're starting at tier 10, you focus on going to where you have influence. Think about it. Groups you're involved in, communities you're involved in, sports teams, friends, family. Offer to design them shirts and offer it at cost. Post it in, find a relevant Reddit group, that subreddit that might appreciate it, a Facebook group that you have permission to share these with from admins. Make sure that you have the permission to do that. But that's probably going to be one of the best ways to get out of tier 10. I did it. I've had some communities on Reddit I was able to share with. I had some communities on Facebook that I was able and had permission to share things that I was selling from the admins. Those are ways to really get out. And if you really want to know, you could watch the video how I sold my first 100 shirts. That is literally me walking through, discussing doing a family reunion shirt, where I shared shirts, what audiences I had built up and shared them with. And I think that might help you guys out as well. So yeah, it's a lot of pop sockets. Pop sockets account for, look at this here, it's coming up 41%. So I know a lot of people sell just standard t-shirts, but my pop sockets are coming close to passing up standard t-shirts. Granted, half of those are from one that I don't make a lot of money on, but that's 1,500 sales that I wouldn't have if I didn't have those pop sockets going. And that would have me down just crossing the tier 2,000 mark. So how many less sales would I have if I didn't have these extra 2,000 slots, if only about 10% of what I list is going to sell? I think that's really important for people to remember. This is a numbers game. You're going to have to test a lot of things. And not everything's going to work. And you don't want to get attached to the shirts. Never get attached to a listing. You may think it's the greatest design in the world. No one else might. You may have this listing that you hate and you don't even want to put up because it's so ugly, and it could be your best seller. It really can happen that way, guys. Never be afraid to list, and never be too attached to your listings. I think that's a really key point to understand. With that said, the biggest thing to do when you're doing this is have fun, and don't overthink your listings. When you're writing your listings, keep them straight to the point, simple bullet points, laser target your keywords that you've identified that you're going to make your listing for, and really, really focus them in. But have fun with it. Don't overcomplicate it. You can always come back and edit a listing. Just get listings up. If you're full, start writing a spreadsheet of listings that you're going to try. Try and get 100 listings prepared so that you're ready to go every time you tier up from tier 10 to tier 100. And if you're still waiting, get over on Redbubble, Spreadshirt, Society Syncs, Inktail, Designed by Humans, build a Shopify store, start Etsy if you're waiting. Don't just sit there every day hitting refresh, waiting for a sale to show up that's not there, and not do anything else but refresh and then come watch a video. You're going to have to put some action in to make this happen for yourself. That's really key. Let's jump over in the chat for a minute and see who's all here. So Javed says, hey, good to see subscribers are increasing every day. I thank all of you guys for being here. And if you're still here right now and you haven't yet, hit the subscribe button, turn on the notifications, and hit that like button. If you're still watching at this point, please give it a like. It does help tell YouTube to share this with more people, and it helps my channel grow. So those of you guys that have watched all the way here through 24 minutes, you're awesome, by the way. There's about 25% of you guys that finish every video, and you guys are the ones who really help push the channel forward. So I do appreciate you guys that are still here at this point, especially. I appreciate all of you guys. The 30% of you guys that click off in the few seconds, we're going to need to do some talking, though. Anyway, so then Holly is asking, do you find that image-only designs sell? Yes and no. Honestly, I have made this one's really important for new. You can make almost every design you need on your phone. It's really all you need. Plain text designs I made on my phone. Someone's been asking me to show about my Shopify brand. It's really not family friendly or works safe for work, so I don't want to kind of exhibit it on here. But the entire clothing brand is just plain text designs. I've only got a couple of illustrations in it. And even Amazon tells us in the resources section that bold text designs with some graphics do well, or just plain text tend to be the best, or, you know, some images do well. I find images with text do a little bit better overall, but then there are those offshoots of just graphics that do well. I've got a dabbing, you know, dude wearing a top hat that I turned into a leprechaun for St. Patrick's Day. He's also an Uncle Sam for 4th of July. He's a magician as well, and literally all I did was change the colors of his hair and clothes for each of those poses, and that is really kind of the way you can scale out a design as well and try different things. But that one does well as image on its own. So really high quality drawings can do well, but cartoony seems to do a little bit better than realistic from what I see, at least. So yeah, what's some of the other comments in here? Congrats on over 2,000 subscribers. Thank you, Naved. We like not work same stuff. I'm not quite sure what you mean there, Brandon, but yeah. Is it okay to put on a shirt something a person said in the news? Example, today one of the hosts of The View said she wishes she had a shirt that said, yeah, that something like that I would probably be okay with. Like, don't attribute it, don't like put her picture on there saying it. But if you made a shirt that said that sort of thing, excuse me, I would suggest, yeah, as long as it's not trademarked, infringing on someone's right of publicity, a copyrighted thing, if it's just kind of like a general funny thing, that would probably be okay. You know, always talk to a lawyer if you're confused, once again. But something like that sounds pretty safe. I just don't know what they said to give you an exact answer. So Javed is saying, Ryan, I have found not only Amazon suggested keyword designs sell, but a lot of other non-searched on the Amazon sell as well. Yeah, so keywords that, like, if you're doing keyword explorers on Google, like, well, Keywords Everywhere just went to a paid version. But yeah, you can absolutely find keywords by using Google. Hell, you can find keywords using YouTube. You can find keywords using Etsy. You can find, I mean, this one here, Ben Smith just did a video covering trend.co, I think it is. And I mean, this is a great one for finding trends. I didn't know about it. Shout out to Ben on that one. And so, like, you can just look and say in the last month, what has spiked in searches? Now, there's going to be a lot of things in here you can't do. But look at that. You can make shirts about flu shots. Look at that. It is growing every single month. You could do vaccination shirts, immunization shirts, vaping. You could, I mean, it falls into the drugs and alcohol category. It should be fine. White privilege is being searched really hot. Culture. So I think this, let me see here. I can do categories and let's do culture. I can filter this by culture. And you can start seeing, so look at this here. In the last month, Christmas gifts are starting to spike. Friday the 13th. Be careful not to be doing the movie. There's tons of keywords you can find all over the place that are gonna do well. You know, same-sex marriage shirts, tempura, you know, food and cooking styles. So let's jump back over the chat here quick. How do you monitor the test status of the text on hundreds or even thousands of designs? I really try to have what I make be very original. I'm a member of the Trademark Watchdogs group who gives shout outs to and files letters of protests for shirts that are, or trademarks that are infringing on shirts. I also subscribe to Merch Informer. Merch Informer has a new trademark protection tool and some trademark tracking in there. Productor has some trademark tracking tools as well as a free Chrome extension. One of the members of the community just messaged me a different Chrome extension. I just haven't gotten a chance to dig into it yet. That if it does what he said it does, I'll definitely be showing it to you guys. We'll see how it... I want to test it out before I throw it up here for everyone. Then the other thing I want to... yeah, so there's plenty of ways to do that. Kind of, what else do we have in chat? From your experience, do you think that Amazon's ads cheaper than Facebook ads to get your first sales in tier 10 with $100? Yes. 100% yes. Okay. If you're gonna, let's think about this. Facebook ads are optimized based on pixel data. You do not have pixel data for Amazon. There is no way for a Facebook ad to properly optimize for purchase conversions. And the moment the person hits Amazon, they're going to be hit with custom marketing from Amazon, from every angle, from every Amazon seller paying to get that eyeball to click their product instead of the one that they're on. And you can't control that. They can get shiny object syndrome, and they came there to look at your shirt, and the next thing they know, they're getting hit with custom target marketing based on their last shopping habits. And like, oh yeah, we got to buy dog food and diapers on here, and your shirt just got booted out. I think if you're paying for ads for merch shirts, do it on the Amazon platform. If you're paying for ads on the Facebook, drive them to a property that you own. Own the real estate that they're landing on. Have it connected to pixel data so that it can properly optimize. So then she said, if people are buying ads on your site with rubles, then you might want to ask, holy freaking, whoopsie. I mean, that's, I don't know the context of that. That could get considered racist by Amazon. It could. I mean, you're segmenting out one population and saying that we should profile them. I don't think Amazon would like that very much. But I would have to think about that one a little bit. Because on the face of it, out of context, it sounds like it could be racist, but at least intended to be. I really don't know. But you could see how that goes. I don't know about that one, but yeah. And the biggest thing to remember when you guys are doing merch is have fun. I think that's about all I've got. Hit the like button, subscribe, turn on notifications, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you for hanging out and asking some questions in the chat. I do appreciate that, guys. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Oh, and if you haven't, if you're still here, latest video should be popping up here when it gets set up, and the one that YouTube thinks you should watch the best next of mine should be right here. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks.